one last thing I wanted to do with putting, so that'd be a good way to sort of round it off, just a little short session. If you were working on improving your putting, what would be the key skills that you'd have to improve on? What would be the sort of formula for better putting?
Distance control.
So there'd be distance control, pace, line. Alignment, strike. What would be the other thing? I call it the PPL. I call it. So you've got prediction. You've got to basically predict what the golf ball's going to do. Yeah. Green reading, which is another subject altogether, and then you've got pace and line. Now, of those two, pace and line, which would you say potentially is the more important?
Pace.
Yeah, pace.
Depending on the length of the shot.
Oh yeah. So obviously, as a generalisation, which would you say is more important, pace or line? Everybody says pace.
Yeah, line.
And they're right. But what does almost everybody work on with putting? You know, if you go onto Amazon tonight and just punch in putting training aid, good luck to try and find anything that's going to help you with pace. Everything's about line. So, just as a kind of last thing, if you were going to improve on pace, what problem does your brain have to solve to get better at pace, if you think about it?
Tempo.
So what is pace dictated by?
How far the putter moves.
Distance back.
Pace is basically dictated by an application of what? Force. Okay. Now, if you think about it, I think as humans, we're pretty good at applying force to move objects to targets. I think it's part of our DNA. And if you think about it, if you were playing darts and you managed to throw the dart into the board, you've applied a force. Yeah. If you bowl a ball on a green, you're applying a force. If you throw a basketball to a hoop, you're applying a force. But with all of those things, where are you actually looking?
Looking at the object. Looking where the...
If you throw a dart, where are you looking?
Looking at the target.
If you throw a basketball, where are you looking?
At the net.
And then we come to our game, where are we looking?
We're not looking at the things that it could curve round.
Can you see the issue?
Yeah, we're looking at the line.
So my brain's got to work out. Throwing a dart, I've got to work out the force. With putting, I've got to work out the application of force with the putter, but I'm not looking where I'm going.
Yeah, because the ground might be moving.
Well, it's just because the game's set up like it is, because the ball's down here and the target's out there. But, and this is how it works for most people. Jim, so just catch this ball, throw it back. Okay. How was his application of force there?
Yeah, okay.
To get the task done.
Yeah, because he knew how the distance from him to you.
How did he know?
Seen the distance because you throw it.
How did he know? He didn't know.
Yeah.
But his system worked it out.
Yeah, he knows what sort of force it needs to be done.
Were you aware then of the rotation of your right elbow and the release angle of your right wrist?
No.
So let's try it again, Jim. Okay, now catch this one and keep hold of it. Now close your eyes and throw it back to me. Okay, was the application of force as good still then? Slight deterioration. Why?
Yeah.
Why did he deteriorate slightly in his capability to apply a force?
Look at the target.
Because you haven't got all your senses.
He has got all his senses, but one of them's been taken away. Okay. So what must his brain have lost? To push it even further, so we could do this one, Jim. Now, if I throw you that ball and I say to you, okay, close your eyes, and I want you to try and get the ball back into my hand, but I'm not going to be in the same place.
Well, you're going to move when he's got his eyes closed.
I can't do it.
Why?
So I don't know where you are.
Right. That is how most of you put.
Right.
Can you see where I'm going with this? Yeah. Is that, in a sense, when we're actually putting, and I know line and all the rest of it comes into it, but if just getting good at applying force to control pace, we're not looking at the target, but we could potentially hold the target in our mind's eye. Make sense? So the idea that I could look at a target and I could hold that image in my mind's eye my body can then organise movement to apply the force. Now, for an awful lot of people, when they start to struggle with putting, where is their attention when they're actually putted? What is their focus actually on? This. So I actually lose that connection to target. So what I want you to do, just to try, is a few different medium range puts. And I want you to try this exercise where you actually look at the target, and all you're going to do is try and judge pace. You're looking at the target, you bring your attention back and see if you can hold that image in your mind's eye of the target. And then see how good you are at applying the force to move the ball to the target. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Ready? Give it a go. And all you're looking at is your ability to judge pace.
4 out of 150 not get through to the finals, but I think we'll be able to shoot 5 or 6 on. And then 2 rounds. 3 rounds in total.
If you were judging that on pace, what was that like?
Quite nice. Past the hole.
Spot on.
Past the hole.
Yeah. Absolutely spot
Can't go in if it's not before it, can it?
But did you hold the image there of the target?
Yeah.
Can you see how this is a step on from the after image?
Yes.
See, with the after
Next
image,
step.
to me, is only relevant from here inwards.
Right.
Because you're not trying to judge pace from there. You're never going to get the pace wrong from there.
Yeah.
It's not even a line thing, really.
Yeah.
Once you get out to here, 10, 15, 20 feet, if you put your attention on the after image,
Yeah.
I think you're losing something of the target.
Thanks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But it's still a 1 point focus.
Yes.
How far away did you say for the after image? Sorry.
Sorry?
How far away did you say for the after image?
I would say, Mark, 4 or 5 feet maximum.
Okay, so
Something like that.
It's very short.
So it's pretty short put, really. Once you get outside that, the reason why you can do it from here,
I'm more comfortable with 60 to that.
lovely pace.
I can't
Have you been holding that image there, Matt, with the...
Yeah.
Can you see how it's an extension of what we did the other day with the one with the after image?
Yeah.
That you'd use that from short range.
Yeah.
Now once you get out to this kind of distance, now it's much more about the application of force to get the pace right.
Yeah.
And once you've stepped into this putt, I want you to look at the target and then get a sense that you're really holding that in your mind's eye. So take the target and then hold the target. What was that like for pace?
I think you're better short than long. I don't know if that's a thing in golf.
You better be in pretty close to the right pace.
Yes.
And you were then.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You know.
I'll take that for a poll all day long.
Have you got on with that?
Good.
Yeah?
Good. Yeah.
Does it involve, once you've actually looked at the target and you've taken the target, does it actually involve any conscious thinking then?
No.
Just let your system respond as you would let it respond in anything else. But why, apart from the obvious thing of three putting less, why would pace as a way of massively reducing your scoring be so important? Why would pace be such a crucial factor in holding more putts?
That'd be a 2-putt or 3-putt.
Yeah.
You don't be miles by it or within a dustbin lid.
This is crucial. To hole a putt, for a ball to go in the hole, it's got to employ a natural force, which is gravity, right? Gravity is everything in putting. You want gravity to take place so it actually captures the ball. What could always overcome gravity? Speed. But until I saw this graphic, I never had any idea just how much. That I don't know if you've heard this term, the idea of a capture size, that the size of the hole changes depending on the speed of the putt. So if you hit a putt that's only goes 3 feet past the hole, it's only got enough pace to go 3 feet past the hole, do you know what the actual effective size of the hole reduces by? Anybody seen the graphic on this?
No.
It's about 46%. So all of a sudden, when your pace isn't so great, what has to be perfect? Line. However, and I know the arguments on poor greens and stuff like that, however, at just about the right pace, how many of these golf balls actually fit in the hole? If I got these golf balls travelling to the hole at just the right pace, how many of them fit in?
3 of them. 3.
All of them. So when people get so obsessed with line, to me, they're actually in the wrong area. They're getting so obsessed with being perfect with the line. However, if you get slightly better at pace, your chance of the hole capturing the ball is huge. Who was it? When I did the other groups the other morning, half we did this and half didn't. Put your hand up if you did the walk to the hole. Right, so we'll test it again. I want you to look at that flag there. Okay. So this one here. Yeah. So what you're going to do is you're going to actually turn your putter upside down.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to close your eyes and you're going to walk to that hole, and you're going to, the next time you put the putter down, that's when you open your eyes. Okay? So just get a sense.
Take your sunglasses off.
Yeah. I can't see without them. So what? I'm going to close my eyes now and walk to the hole.
Take in the target, walk to the hole, and the next time you open your eyes is when you put the putter down where you think the hole is. Okay, not bad. Next volunteer. Come on, Dak. You didn't have a go at this the other day, did you? We'll go from here. Okay. So look at the hole. Turn your putter upside down, so it now becomes the walking stick.
Okay, eyes closed.
Eyes closed. Next time you open them up is when you put the putter down. Declan, come back. I know you're counting the steps from the previous. You're not allowed to count the steps.
I'm counting them. No, I'm not. I'm counting them from my impression. His steps are a lot shorter than mine.
Right, so you're not allowed to do that.
Okay, I'm not allowed to do it because I was going 35 feet.
I know exactly what you were
12
doing.
paces.
I know exactly what you were doing. So just go and react to that.
Okay.
And put the putter down where you think the hole is.
Oh.
Interesting. Yeah. Something's going on whereby our eyes are misrepresenting the task. And the reason why that is when we look at a putt, we look at it this way and we go in this direction, and what you get with the eyes is something called the foreshortening effect. If you were, hopefully you wouldn't, but if you were stood on a railway line and you look down a railway line, the lines appear to meet, but they never do. So when we look this way at a putt, we get that foreshortening effect. I said to the group the other day, that's what good course designers do. Good course designers use the foreshortening effect, and holes look tighter than they actually are. That's why I think if you're doing a practice round for a golf course, when you play a hole, you should always stand at the back of the green and look outwards. I call it shattering the illusion, because you're seeing the hole as it really is, not as the course designer has utilised it. One thing you can do, though, with this is, if you all come over here, as we're looking at this putt, which would you say would be the low side of this putt?
Left-hand side.
Everybody in agreement?
Yeah.
Left-hand side is the low side. Yeah. So take a look from here at the length of the putt, and then come to the low side and have a kind of triangulate and have a look from the low side and see what you think the length of the putt is when you look from the low side. This one. Yeah.
Looks a bit longer.
It's quite a bit longer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What do you also notice when you read it from low side?
Bigger fall.
What appears much clearer
It's the fall.
is the fall, is the slope, is the topography. Why are your eyes now giving you different information?
From a different perspective.
Because you're not getting the foreshortening effect. Because your eyes are not converging this way. Your eyes are now scanning from side to side and you're getting true information. Every other shot in golf, what do we want to know first before we decide what we're going to do? What's the first thing we want to know when we're out there?
Distance.
How far is it?
Yeah.
And yet when we get on here, what do? We don't even think about the distance really. We're all so involved in the line. I'm not saying line isn't important, but I know, if you start to take the information in from low side first, you're getting a true impression of the length of the putt. So I think a great thing to explore is low side for the length of the putt, behind the ball for the line of the putt. But at least now you know when you're setting up, your brain's operating on good information, not an illusion. Yeah. Give that a go on a few different putts with low side. Just give yourself a few 10, 15 footers. Read it low side. Read it from behind.
I mean, that was obvious, it was a low side, but this part here, if you look at that one,
Yeah.
that looks pretty flat.
This is pretty flat.
Yeah.
But you don't want to do low side from where you are.
No.
So do low side, triangulate it. If you do it from the cup though, you won't get the true impression. Now let's have a look at it back from here again. Take a look at how that looks in terms of the length of the putt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's have a look from this side. Marginally low side.
Yep.
What would you say now looking at it?
I would say the low side is...
No, I'm not bothered about the low side, but what would you say about the length of the putt now when you're looking at it from here as opposed to behind? Does it look longer or shorter?
It looks longer.
Yeah. Because your eyes are working
It's an
this way.
optical illusion, isn't
It's
it?
an optical illusion.
Yeah. When you can't see the full span of it from there. Because
Absolutely.
Here you can actually...
Well, you can't see from behind. You can't see the length of the putt because your eyes are doing this to you.
That's where I'm going wrong. Yep.
So just have a look. And for those who did it the other day, just keep quiet. Have a look at this putt from here to where I've put the tees there. Now I would imagine if you were playing in a match, they're all the same length putt. It's just about on the edge of gimmies, would you say?
On
Yeah?
the edge.
Depending on how much money was on it, you'd consider giving those putts. Agreed? Consider, yeah.
Consider.
It's up in the air.
You play with some nice people, you do.
Yeah.
Maybe not the far one, but are they the same length?
They're all the same length. Yeah?
Keep the game.
Yeah.
Would you ever give that one?
No, that's right. That's right.
No.
No, of course not.
So you have to come to
And
the
I fudged it a little bit, but
Because that's further away.
I mean, but it's surprising when you look from there. It actually doesn't look much
doesn't
different,
look
does
it,
it? But that reinforces the foreshortening effect.
Yeah.
That as we're looking
Yeah.
down this way, we've got this foreshortening
100%.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, as part of your routine now, if you can get into the habit of low side read first, think of that with putting as finding out what the yardage is. Before you decide what shape of shot you're going to play on the golf course, you would get the yardage. Then you'd decide on the shape of the shot. To me, it should be the same with putting. You get the yardage first, and then you decide what the shape's going to be. So you read it from behind. Yeah.
Makes sense? Yeah.
Makes sense? Yeah. And as part of getting better at pace, by definition, if you improve your pace, what are you, now and again, what are you going to do with certain amounts of putts? You're going to leave them short. What's fascinating to me is you'll see a guy from 20 feet leave a putt 6 inches short, and it's like, oh, it's like the end of the world. And then in a 4-ball, somebody will hit a putt that's on line with the hole, and it goes 6 feet past the hole, and somebody will say, oh, good putt, you gave it a chance. No, you didn't. You know, and all of a sudden now, what are you bringing into the equation? Bringing 3 putts into the equation. So I would say just having that quest of becoming better at pace is a great one, is a great way of lowering your scores. I do hope that you've enjoyed the last couple of days. Thought it was a reasonable way of finishing it off. I've certainly enjoyed watching Marcus and Foz and Griff and these guys who are top of the tree. I think it's been a really special group for me, watching everybody interact. Everybody shared ideas and shared information in the right spirit. But I'd leave it on one thing that I said yesterday about the question that you ask yourself. And to me, the question is, what's possible? And that's it's like when you walk on a green, you can ask yourself, is it possible I could hold this putt? Which the answer always is what? Yeah, unless you decide otherwise. And I think it's the same with your game. What could be possible in the future? And I don't think there's anything wrong in setting off on a quest, just seeing how good you can be. You've all had that great thrill of hitting quality shots and moving your body in a certain way that feels good just for its own sake. But I think, we've probably scratched the tip of the iceberg really in the last couple of days. But it's taken these ideas. What I've always said in seminars for 30 years, the only thing that will make a difference to your golf now is the actions that you take. Otherwise all we've done is just have a chat for 2 days. It's about what you do afterwards. And I know Marcus is available and Foz and Griff and whatever. If anybody's got anything, questions for me, just we've got contact details, WhatsApp groups and everything. But certainly from my side, I want to thanks very much for coming along and
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to reiterate that really and just say thanks, Carl, Foz, Griff, team. It's been brilliant, and guys, thank you first and foremost. Without you, these things don't happen, and it's. I'm glad you've all enjoyed it. And I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have, because it's been a first for us, and it's been a fantastic opportunity to work with Carl, and for you guys to get the opportunity to work in and have such a great group as well. It's been fantastic, the atmosphere and the spirit, as Carl mentioned, and to really pull for each other and help each other along and learn from each other, as we're all learning from each other as coaches and as players, and I think, like Carl said, it's not the end it's not the end. It's just the start. I've been super impressed with with the attitudes and just the effort you've put in. It's been fantastic. So I hope it's not the last time we see each other. I hope we see each other many more times. But it's been fantastic from our perspective. Foz, from your perspective?
I mean, you've both said it all, but what I will say is congratulations to you guys. You've been brilliant as a group. I said it at the start, I don't know if you remember, but good groups learn more. We have experience of this stuff. You've been a great group, and a great group to us is a listening group. You've all listened, you've all applied. I asked you to use a childlike mind on the course, you all did it. We chatted about it last night. You've been a superb group, so well done to all of you guys, and thanks for coming. Well, you've been brilliant.
Great. Your perspective?
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Everybody threw themselves into it, tried everything, and yeah, we're brave getting out there and having a go at it now.
And thanks a lot for hosting us again.
Also, thanks for coming to see what we got here. It's a nice place.
Brilliant place.
It's been great. So don't be a stranger. If you ever want to come back to play.
Oh, cheap.
There you
It's got
go.
a discount rate.
Discount, mates rates. So thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers. We're just going to get a photo. Is that what's happening?
Awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
And I curiosity.
Thank you, Marcus. Appreciate that. I'll tell you what, it wouldn't have been no. When you talk about